Welcome to another Transformers Prime review. This time we're looking at the Deluxe Class Revealers Rumble figure. Now this is a figure I initially wasn't going to get, which I quite honestly only got because there's a lack of products to review. But I am quite surprisingly pleased with this figure. His car mode seems to be based off of some sort of Honda Civic or some other tiny sports car or smart car design, although it has no real identity to it. It has a really nice blue shiny paint over it. It's very glossy, almost like it's some sort of wall paint, almost some sort of glossy wall paint. And the semi see-through red windows really complement the shiny blue really nicely, although I do wish that the rims on the tires had a little bit of paint on it, or that the headlights may have had paint on it, and the whole back end is completely unpainted, which is kind of a shame. But there is a really nice Decepticon symbol on the front where the where like a H Honda symbol would be. So it does have some good things too. And of course, you could take Rumble's classic drivers here, which can be stored here in car mode on the side, which doesn't look too bad. You can point them backwards if you want to go for some sort of super flying rocket car or something, or if he wants to shoot whatever's behind him. You could go something like this, have a half Mach 5 trying to jump around here, but that's just a little bit extreme there. You do see quite a bit of robot kibble on the bottom. You can pretty much see the whole robot there, especially the demon face right there, which is really kind of funny along there. You just overall, it's a really nice, solid figure. It does feel a little bit on the small side, but it's okay. It makes sense since it's Rumble or Frenzy, if you want to call him that. Just a really solid figure. I'm really curious about what the Arms Micron version of this will look like with the stickers, and if they'll add any more paint, because that is not really all that acceptable in my book. Alright, that's it. Let's get him transformed. Getting him to transform into robot mode is surprisingly fun for a line that's been kind of infamous for having oversimplified transformations. Just going to pop this up and bring this back. Fold out the sides. Fold out the legs. Bring in the front of the car. Continue to extend the legs. Fold up the feet. Got the legs pretty much done there. Fold these around. Get it focus. There we go. Separate the top end of the car. Pull forward the chest, and the head will pop up. Finish to rotate these around. Collapse them in. Rotate these panels up onto his shoulders. Swivel the arms. And there is Rumble Frenzy in robot mode. Rumble in robot mode is very surprisingly detailed and just awesome looking, considering his size and what has been reportedly as a non-show character. His face is kind of a mix between G1, one of the headmasters, Chrome Dome, or something. I think Chrome Dome, as they were shown in the cartoon, is very unique. It doesn't have a mouth, just has a faceplate. Does have very menacing eyes. The demon chest is hysterically awesome with the big eyes and to form his pecs, and just like a nose and snarling face. really, I would highly doubt if it wasn't intentional. At first, the how the most of the top of the car formed the shoulders really kind of bothered me, just the way it kind of looked half-assed and silly a little bit. But in person, I don't really mind. It gives a appearance that has really broad shoulders and just really works with his pile drivers. His legs are a little bit finicky to get him to stand up, just because of how you can't really bring them together all the way. The arms are fairly decent. It just also gives them, because they're fairly on the thin side, but it just kind of makes it a little bit more believable with his pile drivers. Now, as far as articulation goes, he does have a ball jointed head, which is very emotive. You can look straight up, and he has a separate red piece that forms his neck, and he can light pipe very well. Let me bring this light behind here, his whole chest, and yeah, there you go. Very, very cool looking. It does have a ball jointed shoulder, which is also the hinge, which is really awesome. Does allow for some great range of movement. Has a bicep swivel, little hinge here at the elbow. No wrist articulation, but I think this is more the suffice. Has a ball jointed hip, really articulating knees due to transformation, and a little bit of movement in the ankle. So you can get a little bit more dynamic stances, but not too much, just because you can't really bring the legs closer together. And of course, you can take his pile drivers here and put them in his hands, which I prefer to display him with, just so you can really recognize who this is supposed to be. So I always kind of have them like this, and because of the shoulders, like just dancing. Just there's no real like spring mechanism in this, which I think would have been really cool if they could somehow fit that in there. But really cool nonetheless. If you can manage to get a hand on this figure, I'd really recommend it. He's a fun little deluxe, and he is small he is a little bit on the shorter side, but it suits the character, at least as far as the origins in his character is based on. Definitely could not fit inside of Soundwave, though. That would be painfully awkward. Do really recommend this figure. I like it a lot. I really don't have any problems with it, except for the lack of paint and vehicle mode. Until next time, thank you for watching.